Ladies and gentlemen, no, just leave it. We'll cut it out. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the first episode of Ghoulin Around, the official Ghoulius Caesar podcast. I am one of your three hosts, Judah.
I'm the objectively better host, Liv.
And I'm Andrew.
The whitest of the three. Speaking of white, I'd like to take a minute to talk about diversity. I think this podcast is really cool and unique in the fact that all three of us are ethnic in some way. Like, I myself am Irish.
I'm Italian.
And Mexican.
Yeah, I'm not Mexican.
What?
No, I'm Puerto Rican.
You always say you're Mexican.
I've never said I'm Mexican.
I can pull up a chat right now.
Okay. Anyways.
There are a lot of times with you saying it that we have on record.
I have never said I'm Mexican. Andrew, what are you?
I'm Slavic.
I hate the Slavic.
Okay, well,
I mean, like, there are studies that they're, like, genetically inferior.
look. I don't have an excuse.
Yeah.
You don't have any counter-argument.
I really don't.
All right. Well, this is going to be a very informal podcast because I think it's kind of stupid to like come in here with topics. I think it's fun to just ghoul around. You know what I'm saying?
We're absolutely going around.
So let's talk about domestic abuse. Recently in the news, Justin Roiland was arrested for, what was it, battery and like
False imprisonment.
false
like-
imprisonment.
like domestic
What is
assault.
false imprisonment?
Kidnapping.
Oh
Oh my god!
I don't think he kidnapped someone, but I think what probably happened was he, like, didn't let his wife leave. Like, he kept her there, I guess. I don't know.
What's his name?
I can't
Jerry?
imagine that he was, like, riding around in a white van just snatching people.
Is that what his name is? Jerry? Like
Justin?
Morty's... No,
Oh,
Morty's dad.
Yeah.
That was based off of Justin, I think. That character.
You think when he was getting arrested, he was like, "Oh, this sucks real bad, guys. You don't have to do this."
Personally, I think what they should have arrested him for was what was that game he made recently? Have a Nice Life.
No,
that's
that's a
artist.
band.
He made a game?
High on Life.
High on Life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it fucking
He
sucks.
should have been arrested for that.
Yeah,
I didn't even realize he made a game.
it's really bad.
It's like your gun talks to you.
Yeah.
It's like a creature.
Oh.
But it not like in a fun like Portal 2 way.
Mm-mm.
It's in a really unfunny pop culture reference way.
Mm.
And it's just like, oh, what if I ate shit? Huh?
Proceeds to eat shit.
Like there's like a 5-minute segment where this guy, like character's like, oh, I love eating my best friend's shit. I haven't played it. I've just seen clips, and it like makes me viscerally angry. How have you guys been?
Yeah. I've certainly been.
Mm-hmm.
There has been events, and I have lived through days and weeks.
Mm-hmm. But what I'm, this is a bit unrelated, but it's also related. What I'm hoping that this podcast is, more than anything, is a document to future generations of how terrible things were before like the apocalypse happened. Like I actually just saw this today. Hold on, let me pull up this article.
It's like what happened moments before the rapture. occurred.
The
So this is
disaster.
from the New York Times. The U.S. will hit the debt limit on Thursday, so yeah, basically what's going on is U.S. debt is reaching like an amount where where there's like no going back, and the cool thing that the government is doing to like counteract this is they're going to be, well, what would you guys guess what the government solution would be?
Definitely print more money.
No?
My solution would be they're just going to raise the debt ceiling again.
Surprisingly, no. What they're
Really?
doing is taking money out of the funds of, like, federal workers
What?
to pay back their debts instead of, like, I don't know, cutting the military budget or anything like
Oh my
that.
god.
Yeah. If you guys are listening and you're not in America, please send help.
This podcast isn't going to last very long because America is going to burn. in,
Yeah,
like,
when the
3
riots
months'
start,
time.
we'll be sitting in this room, this little gray concrete room, with guns in our hands, and you'll hear banging on the door like, oh, that's just the loyalists trying to kill us.
Also, the microphone is going to be distorted because the room is going to be filled with smoke.
So the SWAT team, they sent smoke bombs in here, and it kind of sucks. Yeah.
Recently, the Supreme Court struck down a motion to remember exactly what it was, but essentially they made it illegal for railroad workers to strike. Because
Is that real?
the unions and the
You're gonna need to
federal
scoot
government,
closer. It's really quiet.
the unions and the federal government couldn't come to like an agreement, and so the Supreme Court essentially made it impossible for the unions to do anything else about it, and made it illegal for railroad workers to like strike without the union. And so, some people are calling for, I can't remember what they're called, guerrilla strikes, maybe? Sorry.
Fucking domestic terrorism.
I can't remember what the term is, but it's just where people strike without the permission of the union. It's like you're going like outside all of the organizations.
That's pretty cool.
Mm?
You know what? No, I shouldn't say that. I don't want to get like put on a terror list on the first episode. We're gonna have 5 listeners, and one of them is gonna be.
I'd like to say, in the face of this political conflict, that I'm really proud to be an American right now. That was a clip from Family Guy.
Oh God, I love Family Guy. Seth MacFarlane, did you hear what he did?
What?
He made the funniest show of all time.
How did they manage to create a show that's only watchable in like 30-second clips on TikTok under a
Subway
video game
Surfers.
playing,
Yeah.
or like in hour-long compilations on YouTube of
No,
funniest
for real.
moments?
There's only 2 extremes. Because when I used to watch Family Guy, they would have like big blocks of it at like 2 a.m.
Mhm.
It was like, I think it was like 10 to like 12 or something like that. And I would just sit there with my eyes unblinking the entire time.
It's funny because it's gotten to a point where I can't consume media unless there's a Family Guy clip underneath it. Because I've become dependent on it.
Yeah, the PSYOP one, dude.
That's
yeah.
like people who like no matter what they're doing, they will pull their phone out to play Clash of Clans.
Yeah,
I hate those
that's
people.
very prevalent right now.
I
know a
hate
few
in
of those
2023.
people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know a few of them who you'll occasionally just hear the bottom bum bum, or however the theme goes.
I dated one. Mobile game players, amongst like any other console, and they choose to play on their phone. I will never understand them.
I don't understand the Steam Deck yet.
I don't get the Steam Deck either.
Like, I get it has potential, but to me it just sounds like another like Wii U.
It's like a Switch,
situation.
but worse.
I mean, you can play Steam games on it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But also, a lot of Steam games are designed specifically for computer.
Yeah.
So it's also kind of stupid.
So I don't think any games I play would be on the Steam Deck. I feel like would be like well configured for it.
Yeah,
Like
imagine.
like Hentai School 2.
Persona.
Wait, how did you see that?
You gave me your Steam account.
Dude, imagine lying in bed playing Phasmophobia on a Steam Deck. That'd be so lame.
I do it on my
That'd be
laptop
pretty lame.
sometimes. It's fun. Well, it's not fun because eventually my laptop starts to get a little bit too hot.
Mm-hmm.
You just hear the in the background.
Then a ghost whispers in your ear.
I'm like, Andrew, we can't
Come
hear you.
for me.
It sounds like you know it's bad when your computer starts to sound like a Boeing 747 upon like booting up.
Dude, that's what my fucking PS4 sounded like. I had a PS4 Pro. I just got a PS5 for Christmas. That was pretty cool. And thank you, Santa and Jesus. But yeah, I had the PS4, and I would try to play like a game that was like more than 200 gigabytes of storage, and it would just go. So I had to use headphones to listen to it, but you could still hear it in the background. It's really frustrating.
That's what my laptop sounds like every time I open Photoshop. And like I have to open it daily because I'm in a photography class. Everyone's sitting there on their little desktops, and all you hear is, and I touch it, and there's like first-degree burns on my
like
hands.
your skin's blistering. I was wondering why your fingers look all like that.
Yeah, it's the Photoshop on my Dell XPS.
Yeah. So you guys are both in school,
Yeah.
and I'm a 3-time college dropout.
Where from?
Lanier Technical College.
let
A
you back in
prestigious university. Yeah, they let me back in twice.
What was the third one?
I got cancer.
Okay. I'm so sorry. What kind?
I don't know. I got rid of it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
like it didn't really.
It was like butt cancer or something.
Yeah.
Hey, should we say names of people we know, or should we just make it anonymous? Because I have a story. It's about their initials. Her initials are SJ, and she's Mormon.
I hate those Mormons.
But
I
yeah,
know exactly
yeah.
what it's about.
This was back when I a little bit before I graduated. I was talking with this person. She was like, "Where are you going to school?" And I was like, "Probably linear tech." And she was like, "That's." What was the wording? It was basically along the lines of, "Wow, we got a real overachiever here." And I was like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't afford to go. I can't have my parents send me to expensive fucking college.
Dude, she lets her dog shit on my lawn, and then they don't clean it up.
She also lets her dog do other things, but we shouldn't talk about that.
Remember how, like, a couple years ago, there was that thing where it's like everyone in America thought
This
that
the
video
Central.
was
Yeah.
that girl from Central. And it's like they all thought it was their Central.
I remember being like in middle school, and they were like, "Oh my god, you know that one girl from Central High School?" And I was like, "Who? I don't know anyone from Central."
Yeah.
They're like, "That girl from Central." And then years later, I found out it was a universal phenomenon that collectively every Central High School all had one girl. It was like they rose and started a union.
Yeah, what if that's what happened? Like, just it was this weird phenomenon where like one girl from every Central High School in the States decided to have sex with a dog and recorded it.
Like Dog Fuckers Anonymous.
DFA.
There's definitely some sort of Reddit page about that.
All right, new podcast name: Dog Fuckers Anonymous.
That's one thing I hate. That's one thing that I think has kind of like caused some issues. Is like
Fucking
there's
dogs.
a Reddit page for everything. There's a Reddit page
Yeah.
for everything, right? And it used to be like people in like the 90s or like not 90s, like 70s would be like, "Damn, I kind of want to fuck a dog," and then people would tell them, "That's fucking stupid. Don't do that." And then they usually probably didn't. But nowadays it's like you're like, "I want to fuck a dog," and now there's an internet community for it.
Yeah.
Like-
Reddit is good
Oh,
for
I
everything.
saw that, but it was about toasters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toaster.
It was about like I want to fuck a toaster.
Is it on
Yeah.
or off? I feel like it would be like warm if it, that's besides the point. Reddit is like a really good platform, especially if you have like a really obscure medical problem. You look it up and someone else like 12 years ago has had that same problem. It's great.
Yeah,
I'm not
Reddit
gonna
is
lie.
great. My favorite is when you go on like anime subreddits and you'd be like, "Hey, you guys shouldn't be attracted to like 12-year-old girls." Then you get downvoted to oblivion.
It's like, actually, she's like 407. It's like, then why'd you draw her like that?
It's, like, it's
and
the
then,
right
and then
Ayanami
sometimes it'll
supporters.
happen where she's like, "So what? She's 12. She's a cartoon. It's fine."
It's like
Ugh.
ooh.
Yeah.
The Oscar people.
Ugh.
You're like, she's 14, bro.
Neon Genesis Evangelion fans are very often degenerate people.
Holy shit!
I feel like that should be said.
I just went to my news app. Guys, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. I'm kind of going on a hunch here. Do you think it had something to do with his wife?
I think she told him to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I could see that happening.
I think
It's like a Manchurian Candidate. She said some code words, and he went up and punched him.
He's a sleeper agent.
he had to save face months after his wife publicly admitted that she fucked someone else.
Yeah, that's
Her
probably.
son's friend too.
I think what happened. All right, so this is my theory on that whole thing. And I know it's really old news at this point, but yeah, I think it was him going like, all right, when people type into Google Will Smith wife, I want the news to be Will Smith punches Chris Rock to death
to death.
instead of Will Smith is a little cuckold boy.
Yeah, did you guys see that he killed Chris Rock? Like, that slap shattered his skull.
Do you think there's a timeline where that, like, he just walked up and shot him point blank in the chest?
It's some alternate reality.
But it was the same reaction. They were like, "You shouldn't do that," but he wasn't escorted out or anything.
Yeah.
They like kicked under the rug. They're like,
Yeah.
"No, he's still a good person. He just slapped that guy." at the
He goes
Oscars."
up and does the speech still, and there's like blood all over his tie.
That definitely happened like sometime in the real world, and they just didn't publish it anywhere.
I'm sure.
And that's
That sounds like something that would happen in like Russia.
That's essentially what happened. Like before the Civil War, when they were like debating on the Senate floor the issue of slavery, and a Southern senator and a Northern senator got into such a heated argument that the Southern senator beat the crap out of the Northern senator with a cane because the Northern senator said something that was like personally insulting, I guess. And so he
said,
beat
"Your
the crap
mother."
out of him. And then afterwards, his supporters like sent him a bunch of canes to replace his now broken one.
That's
Dude, I
fucking
remember
sick.
learning about that.
Why doesn't shit like that happen
We
nowadays?
should bring that back.
Like, why can't fucking like Ted Cruz get his head caved in by
Dude, that
like
kid eats
AOC or something?
Like, he eats children.
He's a weird dude.
Like
He's a child eater.
someone could have easily done that to Mark Zuckerberg on the like committee floor when he was doing that.
That would have been so funny.
Dude, don't say he's listening. His little reptilian ass is gonna
Hey,
get you.
hey, Mark Zuckerberg. Fucked your mom.
Is his
Fucking-
mom still alive?
Not anymore.
I hope not.
I'm gonna look it up.
I don't know why I said I hope not. Sorry. Actually, she made him.
Is she alive and is she a baddie? Jam, shawty. She's mid.
That is not his
She's
mom.
mid.
She's grainy
Is
as
that really his
hell.
mom?
What is the IQ of Mark Zuckerberg? 8.5?
Oh, I want
What?
to see a picture of his mom.
Fuck, I can't go for some Mexican food.
There's no way she's
I
Asian.
recently found out there's a.
He's Asian?
That's his wife.
There's no way.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
So you recently found out what?
Oh, there's a taco place at UNG, like in one of the food courts things. Something taco. I don't know what
Is
it
it
is.
Tacos Auténticos? For our non-Spanish speaking listeners, that is authentic tacos.
I highly doubt they are actually authentic. But the chicken fajita kind of goes crazy.
Is it banging?
It's banging.
Is it fucking?
It's good.
I wouldn't say that.
It's loving. I don't think it's fucking. Like, it's banging.
Okay, she's not that bad.
She's just a mid-old white lady.
She looks like she'd be a Marvel mother.
Yeah.
Like someone they'd
definitely
cast-
an HOA mom.
Yeah, someone they'd cast as like a Marvel mother, where she's like really mid, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, she's like, she's so good because she's a Marvel."
White women.
Yeah, man, I hate white women.
We're struggling here a little bit.
Yeah. No, I'm just laughing because it's funny because I think it's gonna be a very long time before we have like consistent listeners.
No one's gonna listen to this now.
No, absolutely not. Like one guy in Minnesota is gonna stumble upon this and be
I
like,
think it's like the like.
but he's gonna think it's like the best shit ever.
Yeah, it's like,
Some
Yo,
dude,
no
some
way.
really lonely dude is like, I wish I had 3 friends.
definitely, it's gonna be like Chris Chan.
He has like a room that's like dedicated to a Ghoulius fan.
That would be sick, dude.
we
Fucking,
have a
he goes,
superfan?
he goes full Bjork stalker on us. I would be fine if one of you guys, maybe we'll do a little fan mail series in the future. If one of you sends us an acid bomb, that'd get us in the headlines, make it easier to get verified. That'd be sick.
All the like white ladies would listen to it because it's true crime now because we got like
Yeah.
killed or something.
Let's just commit crime, and then we can
Yeah.
get ourselves onto true crime. Will like
Yeah.
blow up faster. What crime would you commit if you could commit any crime and get away with it?
I've always wondered what arson would feel like
Yeah.
burning down a like big building.
I would just have to be far away from it because I'm
Just
asthmatic.
legally putting it
Yeah.
out there. I'm not going to.
I think mine would be like trespassing at like some sort of high tech like federal building,
That would be cool.
like seeing what's actually behind the scenes, what they're hiding from us.
You go into the Pentagon,
Yeah.
and then there's just a room full of femboys.
In the middle of the Pentagon, they have a Taco Bell.
Is that real?
Yeah, it's like in the center of the Pentagon. There's this little like courtyard, and there's a Taco Bell in there.
Is that before or after the reptilian people sanctuary?
I thought you were gonna say, is that before or after 9/11?
Sir, they've hit the Taco Bell.
Mr. President, a second plane is at the Taco Bell. I was there for that. That was fucking crazy.
You were there for the Taco Bell 9/11
Yeah,
attack.
Taco Bell Evan.
So I had a buddy who was
Taco
working
Bell 11.
that night. He was like wrapping someone's chalupa, and then he blew up and died.
That sucks.
I didn't hear his account because
Yeah.
he blew up and died. But
That's really unfortunate.
yeah,
You know, there was one person who like popped out. Well, first let me say my crime. Probably like embezzlement or tax fraud. Just because I think white collar crime is really funny.
dude, I already do tax fraud. So
Maybe don't admit that.
sorry if the IRS, if you're listening to this right now.
The IRS is not fucking listening. Or maybe our OnlyFans are IRS people. But yeah,
the
so
bots.
like statistically, at least one person popped out the second like the first plane hit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Imagine being a 9/11 baby.
I actually have a friend who was born on 9/11. So I do a bit every year. I'm like, happy birthday, happy 9/11, and she thinks it's funny. It's okay.
Now, my mom she lived in New York during 9/11. She was pregnant with my brother, and that was the day they were packing up and moving to Georgia. And then they were
Oh.
looking out the window. They're like, "Hey, yo, what?" And then they check the news. It's like 2 planes have hit the Twin Towers. She's like, "Oh hell no, bro."
It's a good thing we're heading out.
Yeah.
I like that. Speaking of Norm Macdonald, we mentioned Norm Macdonald in something separate, but Norm Macdonald has this bit I really like. Well, there's the 9/11 Airlines one where he's like, "Yeah, it reminds me of that terrible tragedy," and then he has one. Yeah, it's the same bit where he's talking about like, that was horrible. I shouldn't joke about that. I was looking for my brother, wading through bones and blood. Turns out he was in northern Canada. Man, I love that guy.
I like how he got in trouble for making so many OJ jokes.
That was, oh man. Sometimes, like every couple months, I'll do a Norm Macdonald OJ Simpson compilation on YouTube. Mm-hmm. It's really funny.
I don't think OJ did anything wrong, personally.
Look, all I'm saying is, do you know how many yards he rushed in one season? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Well, if he goes back to or if he goes to jail at all, how's he going to play golf?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Hey, to the world.
How's he going to write a book called If I Did It?
How is he gonna talk to that one nurse who's like, oh, OJ does something a little silly. Gets the banana, goes,
yeah. No, it wasn't a banana. It was a knife.
He recreates it with the banana, though.
No, he used a knife.
He used a knife at first?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's such a silly guy.
Yeah.
He's a silly little critter.
He's a child at heart. You know? Just like my idol, Michael Jackson.
Okay.
A child at heart.
Wait.
Speaking of people who didn't do anything wrong.
Oh my god. He made some good songs.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that redeems him.
Mm-mm.
Well, all right, here's the thing. Jokes aside, whether or not he did it,
I think I'm bringing a really good point forward, man.
Yeah, dude, I can't even argue with that.
Yeah,
like
for real.
that's a really good point.
So I got into my mom's Adderall before I came in here, and I'm like feeling really strange right now.
Really focused?
No.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I have to shit really bad.
Get this man behind the wheel now. Right now.
You guys want to do some shots in a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna drive after this, too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Oh,
We could
for
do a little
sure, yeah.
street race
Yeah.
in your neighborhood.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Those are my keys.
Yeah, so if there's not a podcast following this one, the police caught us, not because anything happened due to our booze cruising. It's because we're in prison.
Well, I'm just saying, in like what is it, 40% of drunk driving accidents, it's the other driver's fault.
What about the other 60?
Act of God.
It was Jesus Michael Christ.
Yeah.
So where's the Michael come from?
He told me. It came to me in a vision.
It's a traditional Jewish name.
Yeah, one time I was like on my
Mikhail.
deathbed, and Jesus walked in, because he is a Saudi Arabian man, by the way. He's not this white dude that they...
What? You mean to tell me Jesus isn't white?
Yeah, and he walked in, and I was like, who are you? And he goes, I'm Jesus, I'm Christ. And I was like, what does the M stand for? And he said, Michael, and then I died. And I was resurrected a few days later.
Speaking of death, can I talk about something heavy?
Yeah.
So like I think it was somewhere between 2016 and 2018. I was and I don't want to bring down the mood, but I was about to commit suicide. And then I was like, I want to watch one last YouTube video before I go out, right? So I was scrolling through YouTube, and on the trending page, I saw a Logan Paul video, and it was a vlog from Japan. And I was like, I've always wanted to go to Japan, so maybe I can like live vicariously through one of the most influential people of our generation. And I was watching the video, giggling, kicking my feet up in the air, and well, as we all know, he featured a clip of a person who had committed suicide in the Japanese suicide forest in the video, like a freshly rotting body, you know? And I saw that and I went, he is raising awareness for suicide. And I decided I would never kill myself after that.
I thought that was going in a direction of you can't let him outlive you.
There's that too. Fuck that guy. He got in trouble again recently for like something about a pig.
So speaking of YouTubers who got in trouble, can we talk about Dream?
What did he
What
do?
did he do?
He was talking to like a 14-year-old. Did you not hear about that?
Is that recent?
Yeah, like recent. He was messaging her, and he's like, "Oh, you're really mature for your age. Like, let's hook up. You want some pictures?" It got released on Twitter, and he was like, "I didn't do that." And all the Dream fans were like, "No, it doesn't sound like
Yeah,
him."
he said he didn't do that, so he didn't do. Dude, Dream fans are fucking scary.
Yeah, let me pull it up. I'm gonna find it.
I think the best thing we could do for our career is demonize ourselves with the Dream SMP community.
I love when like people that you've always hated end up giving people a reason to hate them.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
people you've just always just for some reason have been like rubbed wrong by.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I love when that happens.
No, it's very
'cause then
sad.
everyone else hates
It's
them.
very satisfying.
Yeah, okay. It was November of last year, and the girl came out on Twitter, and she was like, I'm fully proving it. Here's what happened. Here's me telling him I'm 18 soon, but not yet. And him, like, sexting her, even though she was a minor.
How old is he?
What?
Not
I think he's like 48.
I thought it was like 63.
I think he's in his 80s. I'm not gonna lie.
He is 23. So
Ugh.
6-year age difference. That is yucky at that age.
I mean, it just... It's like unsurprising when a big YouTuber comes out. It's like, oh yeah, they were messaging minors.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the number one crime committed
Yeah.
by famous YouTubers.
Yeah.
There's so many of
Guys,
them
that means
do
we
it.
can't blow up.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking that. It's like, we need to stay niche. Well, it'll hit like, I think 1 million is still pretty small.
I was thinking more like 10 million is like
I
a
was thinking
small
like
number.
50 million. It's pretty small.
Yeah, that's a pretty small number.
It can be the first 2,000 YouTube, subscriber YouTube channel.
The first 2,000 subscriber YouTube channel?
Mm-hmm.
The first one ever.
Huh?
Since YouTube's release in what, like 2008?
That's a lofty goal.
Yeah.
We're gonna get there though.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. All right.
Put your pants back on, dude.
It's disgusting.
Andrew is standing up and pulling his pants down, and shaking his butt. What?
You gotta let it
Disgusting.
breathe. You gotta let it breathe.
Yeah. Thank you for keeping your underwear on at least.
You always have to have a semblance of decency.
I will ask, why are they My Little Pony themed?
Well, I don't think it's that weird.
See, Judah's with me.
You guys bronies?
But we're bros
Is there
with
an...
knees.
I was about to say, is there an NYS at the end?
I've never really understood why grown men who are into My Little Pony.
Me neither. You guys seen Mr. Hands?
Gotten it. Mr. What?
Mr. Hands?
No.
The famous video of the dude getting fucked to death by a horse.
No.
You haven't seen Mr. Hands?
No.
I can't say I've seen that one.
Holy shit, that's a funny video.
That's just the plot of BoJack.
Yeah.
There's a video of that guy who stuck like a chair leg up his ass
Oh, I
and
could
he
see
died
that.
from it.
I don't remember who showed me that, but someone walked up to me in the hallway and goes,
I know
look at
who-
this!
I know who did.
Oh, it was... Yeah, never mind. I know who it was. He was like, hey, watch this. And I was like, oh, it's going through his stomach. Oh, this is terrible. Man, what a video.
Yeah.
What about Pickle Jar?
Yeah, One Man, One Jar.
Or the guy who had to call 911 because his wife shoved a conditioner bottle up his ass.
I feel like people always forget if you're gonna shove something up your ass, it has to have a flared bottom.
Would you know experience on that?
No.
Or... Okay. Look mad guilty right now, but I'm not gonna say anything.
I hate it here.
Now, episode 2 of the podcast is going to be titled Things We've Stuck Up Our Butt.
Number 1, pencil sharpener.
I love that video.
Pencils.
Things I've shoved up my arse.
Coins.
That's the only British
Mariah
person I
Carey.
like.
Yeah, I hate the British, by the way, but I think we should set aside a whole podcast episode.
Yeah. God, we hate
Shitting on the British.
Yeah.
I think we should take British musicians, force them to make music, and then get rid of the rest of them.
Okay.
I think the only good thing that Britain has made is music.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like Radiohead, Muse.
I'm trying to think one other
Muse
good
is
thing that they
American.
made.
Are they?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure
Not
they're from like
Muse.
San Francisco.
Okay, not Oasis. Oasis.
I'm a
Oh, I
fan
don't like Oasis.
of Arctic
I
Monkeys, I
kind of
will
like
say.
Oasis. I like some of the songs.
like Oasis.
I like Blur.
Blur's pretty good. Gorillaz.
Mm-hmm.
They released that song called what was it, like Thai Princess, about the cartoon monkey bassist falling in love with a little Thai princess.
You really?
Yeah. No, that's real, and it's like about her growing up, and then they fall in love, and it's really weird, especially considering that Thailand is like notorious for human trafficking.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Man.
Everyone was like, Damien Albarn, we love your music, but that's like really weird.
The British, am I right?
Yeah.
They're certainly
Disgusting.
yeah. That's all I got about that. I don't like them.
You remember that movie Men? It came out, I think it was last year.
Yes.
It was just about the horror of British people. That movie sucked.
If you really think about it, almost any movie is just about the horror of British people.
I think that's what our country is based on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Give us some examples. Here, I'm gonna name a movie, and you're gonna explain how it's about the horror of British people.
Okay.
The Thing.
That's any British person.
The Thing is secretly a commentary on how, without like doing something to give it off, any person around you could be British, you know, and you would never know it. It's like the Thing, you only know it's the Thing when it like does something that's like, oh, that's obviously not a person. It's like the same with a British person. They do some crazy ass shit like put beans on toast, and you're like,
But they just
that's one of them. That's one of them.
They just open their mouth and start talking. I think they
Yeah.
need to drop the fucking act. I think the accent isn't real, and I think they're making it up, and they need to knock it off.
I saw this tweet. It was like British people getting home from work. Finally, I can drop the stupid accent.
Yeah.
Also, one of my favorite tweets of all time is it was this person being like, "How did British people like colonize and raid the entire world's worth of spices, but they don't use any in their food?"
Yeah. It's the consequences of what happened after World War II. They just like they had to start rationing because the Germans were bombing them, and they just never stopped eating.
Yeah, there's another tweet that's like British people still eat like Germany's like hovering above them.
There's a cereal over like I don't know if it's in all of Europe, but it's in like the British Isles. Is like this cereal that's like got sawdust in it. I don't remember what it's called, but it's fucking weird.
Man, I hate the British.
Yeah. We'll save the rest of our British hate for another podcast episode.
To any of your British listeners out there,
Fuck you.
Yeah, you are not welcome here.
I can smell you from here.
Feel free to close the podcast and never listen again.
But then again, we're also starting off, and we do need a fan base. So if for some reason this ends up in some British person's like feed on YouTube or Spotify or whatever, go fuck yourself. We don't want you. We're not that desperate.
We have journalistic integrity.
Yeah.
Thank you for all of our non-British listeners for listening in.
And you know what? God bless you. God bless America.
Or whatever country you're from, as long as it's not Britain.
Yeah. But specifically, God bless America.
Yeah, I think that's important to remember.
I think this is a good first podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we want to close in prayer?
Let's do it.
All right. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for putting your hand up.
Okay.